save the day, never fear.
Alita Battle Angel is probably my favorite live-action anime/manga adaptation to come out of Hollywood, outside of maybe Edge of Tomorrow and say Speed Racer. Now, I know that's not really saying much considering the competition, but trust, this movie was a hell of a good time. Now, I know for some, anime is still new ground or unknown territory, but if Dragon Ball Super Broly's success taught us anything, it's that Western audiences are thirsting and appreciate quality content about their favorite anime properties. And as a fan of the manga and OVA, I can honestly say that Alita Battle Angel delivers. I first got into the Battle Angel Alita series shortly after graduating high school, which was probably the height of my anime craze. Around this time, I almost exclusively only watched anime. I just kept wanting more and more. And it wasn't just action shows either. Oh, no. Your boy here, he was absorbing nearly everything the medium had to offer. It didn't matter if you were a shonen, a slice of life, a harem, comedy, or horror, I was coming for you. So during that time, I randomly discovered Battle Angel with my twin bro. We really took to it. We even got into the manga. Then, fast forward sometime in the future, James Cameron has already dropped Avatar. It's a worldwide phenomenon. People are going crazy over this movie. Then a rumor came out that James Cameron was directing a Battle Angel Alita movie. But besides that piece of information, I don't think we ever really got anything else on the film. Then fast forward some years into the future, and this movie has found its leading lady in Rosa Salazar. Then finally, news comes out that James Cameron is no longer directing this film, but instead, he has now passed the torch over to my boy, Robert Rodriguez. And thus, we have our movie. Now, needless to say, walking into this film, I was both excited and yet a little worried. See, I love me a good Robert Rodriguez film as much as the next guy. Hell, Sin City is still one of my favorite movies of all time. And The Faculty is still a personal favorite of mine. But post Machete, I hadn't really seen anything from him that wowed me. I mean, A Dame to Kill For had many great moments of greatness, like the entirety of the Joseph Gordon-Levitt arc, but it fell a little flat. Battle Angel Alita starts off strong, then stumbles a bit, but manages to find its footing. But I'll get more into that later. All you need to know is the best of Robert Rodriguez is on full display here. So, the movie starts off with the good doctor, played by the insanely talented Christoph Waltz, whom discovers Alita. He puts her back together, and now we have ourselves a cute father and daughter, ladies and gentlemen. A cute father and daughter movie that involves death, cyborgs, betrayal, and high-octane action. Oh, and the action. Yo, let's talk about the action. My guys and gals, even if you somehow end up disliking this movie, trust me when I say it is worth it for the bar scene alone. Rodriguez's over-the-top flair is very much so present here. Even in some of the more subtle moments in this film, you can clearly tell that this is his film. Another plus is just how beautiful this movie looks. It's clear Robert and James put in work. They really cared about this property, and it shows. Side note, I'm not a big fan of seeing movies in 3D, but I actually recommend it for Alita. Now, looking back, there are moments where I was like, I wonder how it would have looked if James Cameron would have directed this. But instead, Robert Rodriguez's vision came out quite good, and I was very pleased. It had fun, it had heart, like a literal heart. By the way, that scene involving the heart is one of my favorite scenes. It had great acting, and speaking of great acting, boy, Mahershala Ali was charismatic as hell in this movie. I don't think I've ever seen a bad performance from that man. Then there's Kean Johnson, who was kinda charming in his scenes, but ultimately he was your standard love interest. But the real champion of this movie is Miss Rosa Salazar. And not because she's the lead, or because she's a straight gangster, nah. She killed it performance-wise. She looks so at home in this movie. That actress is going places. I really don't have any big complaints about this movie. I knew what I was going into, and James Cameron and company gave me what I wanted. Although I'd be lying if I said this movie was amazing. With so much good done in the action and visuals department, I do feel that this movie missed the mark in the villain department. Actually, for the most part, characters were kinda weak. If you're not Alita or the Doc, then you had no real depth. You guys have heard me ramble on long enough, so let's grade this movie. Now, I usually rate movies in two different categories. One is for my basic moviegoer audience, and I rank them by see it, buy it, rent it, or skip it. See it means see it in theaters, buy it means wait till it's out of theaters, rent it means it's worth seeing but not worth buying, and then skip it, don't watch it. And then the next category is for my film buffs and let's say critics. For you guys, I rate my movies A to F, A being the best and F being the worst. Now, basic moviegoers out there, this movie is so much fun, I say see it in theaters. Film buffs, I rate this movie a C+. Also, there are some critics out there, some, not all, being kind of harsh on this movie. Don't listen to them. Go see it, form your own opinion. Now, for those big Alita fans out there, while this movie doesn't necessarily get as dark as, say, the OG anime or the manga, I will say they adapted key moments quite well, while still making this movie its own thing. And as an anime fan, that's all I really ask for. This is Dez from Featuring Dez, signing out. Peace.